Organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up on this Monday morning edition of Daily Iowan TV, the Iowa Senate passes a bill that leaves the heads of local bicyclists spinning. Info on the go, the Mobile Museum is back. See what it has in store for you this season.
Find out how the baseball team finished up in their 3-game series versus the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, and how the women's gymnastics team will be moving, or if they will be moving on to nationals.
More rain on the way, but there is sunlight at the end of the tunnel. Find out more coming up in weather.
All that and more coming up. Daily Iowan TV starts now. Good morning, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to Daily Iowan TV. I'm Nikki Crossway. Last week, Governor Terry Branstad signed a bill that forbid Iowa cities and counties from setting their own individual minimum wages. This has left businesses with the option to keep the wages at either $10.10 or $7.25. The businesses in Iowa City, while most likely keeping the wages on the higher end of the spectrum, have some detractors going back to $7.25. However, those who have maintained the wage have been given signs by community organizers that read, quote, "We support the Johnson County minimum wage, moving our community forward," end quote. Stick with Daily Iowan TV and the Daily Iowan for the more on this story. After 2016 produced a record high in Iowa for bicycle deaths on the road, the Iowa State Legislature is taking a look at bicycle safety. Daily Iowan TV's Bo Bauman reports with more on the bicycle bill.
You might say Iowa is moving forward, and it's on a bicycle. Bicyclists like Mark Wyatt are asking the state for more protection when they hit the road.
We want to make sure that motorists change lanes to pass bicyclists. We think it's the safest way to do it.
Senate File 450 was introduced to the Iowa Senate earlier this session. The bicycle bill would require motorists to move over one entire lane for cyclists. The movement was sparked by 11 Iowa deaths caused from motorists hitting a cyclist from behind.
Current Iowa law says cyclists must have front lights on their bikes from sunset to sunrise and must be visible from at least 300 feet away.
An amendment to the bill in the House of Representatives would also require bicyclists to wear a reflective vest at night. Senator David Johnson of Osceola thinks it's a bad idea.
I mean, that's absolutely crazy. We can do the same thing without making the bicyclist uncomfortable, because there's just people here who don't want to share the road.
The bicycle bill cleared its first hurdle in February and is waiting to be debated later this session.
If we can create some sort of philosophy that we can teach to younger drivers, then we can save lives.
Helping more cyclists stay safe. Reporting from Iowa City, Bo Bowman, Daily Iowan TV.
The Iowa legislature is currently in the final stretch of getting new laws enacted. Today marks the 13th week of the Iowa legislature's 2017 session. Some proposals that are in the process of becoming laws or dying include increased funding for water quality programs, blocking most abortions after 20 weeks, and a plan to rewrite firearm laws. The Iowa legislature plans on concluding this session by April 18th. Well, April showers is no joke. It looks like we're headed into another week of rain showers. Let's toss it over to Ryan in the weather studio. Ryan, what do you have for us coming this week?
Unfortunately, you're right, Nikki. We do have more showers on the way, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. We will have some sunshine in our week, just for a few days yet, so have to tough it out. This afternoon, we should have highs reaching the mid-50s, and we're also seeing a 90% chance of rain. So yeah, we have more of that rain today. This evening, temperatures should drop into the mid-40s, and it looks like the rain will be sticking around this evening as well. Again, we're seeing a 90% chance of rain this evening, and Tuesday morning we'll start the day with temperatures just reaching the 60s with cloudy skies. Now let's take a look at our 6-day forecast. Like I said, there is light at the end of the tunnel. If we can survive through Thursday, we should see some sunshine in our week. So let's get to it. Tuesday, highs just reaching the 60s with cloudy skies. Wednesday, highs dropping down to the mid-40s and rain showers. Thursday, highs in the low 50s with cloudy skies, and finally, we get to the sunshine. Friday, we're seeing highs reaching the mid-50s with sunny skies, and it looks like we'll be taking the good with the bad this weekend. Temperatures reaching the upper 60s to low 70s, but with possible rain. That's everything we have here in the weather studio. I wish I'd have to keep saying this every week, but stay dry out there, Hawkeyes. Nikki, back to you.
While Saturday was April Fool's Day, it was no laughing matter at the Sharpless Auction House. It was the launch of the 2017 rendition of the University of Iowa's Mobile Museum. Daily Iowan TV reporter Christopher Cervantes reports with more.
Since 2014, the University of Iowa Mobile Museum has been on call to educate and entertain local citizens with the latest exhibits that highlight both the work ethic and the latest technology found at the school.
The museum is a partnership between the Office of the Vice President for Research and Economic Development, the Office of the State Archaeologist, and the Pennacrest Museums.
Not only is the museum mobile, but it showcases not one, not two, but 3 separate exhibits in this Winnebago show.
So this year we feature 3 unique exhibits, delving deep the story of Iowa's ancient oceans, Oneota archaeology connections, and speaking of work, the oral history project at the university.
With such diverse exhibits and various forms of interactivity, the demand for the museum is extremely high, with no shortage of attendance or pleased patrons. But don't take my word for it. Let's see what one museum goer had to say.
My favorite part being here is that there's so many fossils to look at.
The Mobile Museum is set to make its on-campus debut at the Adler Journalism and Mass Communications Building on April 14th. Reporting from the Sharpless Auction House, this is Christopher Cervantes, Daily Iowan TV.
April 1st also marks the 9th annual Nearly Naked Mile, a Future Alumni Network-sponsored event that acted as a clothing drive to benefit the United Action Youth. While the participants did not have to be nearly naked to run the event, they did have to donate 1 article of clothing. Members of FAN have stated that while there has not been an official donation count as of yet, it is estimated around 100 pieces of clothing going to the United Action Youth. Speaking of running, Hawkeye Athletics was in full action this weekend. Ashlyn Bauer has a complete rundown of all that. Ashlyn?
Thanks, Nikki. It was once again a very busy weekend for Hawkeye Sports. Tennis, baseball, softball, gymnastics, rowing, and golf all competed this weekend. It was definitely an exciting one for the baseball team. The Hawks took the University of Nevada at Las Vegas in their second home series of the year this weekend. Lucy Rodine has the recap.
The Hawkeyes took on UNLV this weekend, sweeping the series 3-0. This series proved that if there's anything that defines this Hawkeye team, it's resiliency. In Game 1 of the series, Iowa was led by Nick Gallagher on the mound, who did not allow a walk in his start for the Hawkeyes. Gallagher's strong performance helped hold the Rebels to 3 hits and no runs.
Nick pitched extremely well today. He was in control. He was in control of himself. He worked quick and didn't walk a batter, as you said, struck out 6.
At the plate, Chris Whalen had an RBI that put Iowa up 1 in the 3rd. Tyler Cropley hit a double that sent 2 Hawkeyes home in the 8th, securing the Game 1 victory for Iowa 3-0. Game 2 was back and forth, with UNLV scoring individual runs in 5 separate innings, and the Hawks doing the same in 3. The Rebels went into the bottom of the 9th with a 5-3 lead. Down 2, Mitchell Bowe came up to bat and hit a double that set up pinch hitter Austin Guzzo and pinch runner Corbin Woods to score, tying the game. Chris Whalen then hit a walk-off single that sent Bowe home and clinched Game 2 for the Hawks 6-5.
Mitch gave us a chance with that double. It was going to be left up to me, so I was just looking for a fastball, a little excitement in the air, and I was just trying to get a job done. It's actually my first walk-off hit in my career, so it's really a feeling like any other. Honestly, I've never really experienced it, but it was awesome.
In Game 3, the Hawks relied on another late rally. Going into the bottom of the 8th, the Rebels were up 6-4, but 2 RBIs and a run from Mitchell Bowe gave Iowa a 7-6 victory.
We have a lot of fight on this team, and sometimes we don't show it, but this showed our true selves here.
The Hawkeyes will look to continue their hot streak this Tuesday when they face South Dakota State at home. Reporting from Duane Banks Stadium, this has been Lucy Rodine, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
Iowa is currently on a 6-game winning streak and now is 17-9 on the season. The Iowa softball team also came away with a 2-1 series win against Purdue this weekend. The women's gymnastics team competed in regionals on Saturday and fell just short of the national bid. Olivia Corbett was in Champaign and has more on the meet.
On Saturday night, the University of Illinois hosted the 2017 NCAA Regionals Gymnastics meet, including the 6 top teams from the Central region. Iowa, looking for a spot at Nationals, started off the competition a bit slow, scoring a 48.55 on vault, but it only went up from there. On floor, Angel Metcalf and Claire Kaji tied for the 4th place title with a 9.85. Strength had her best performance of the night on the uneven bars, tying for 6th, contributing to the team score of a 48.85. With just one event left, the Hawkeyes' new beam was going to have to be close to perfection for the bid to nationals, and the Gymhawks nearly did the impossible, shattering the school record with a 49.6, including 2 first-place titles for Metcalf and Kaji, scoring a 9.95.
They made an excellent comeback. I mean, we were last until the very last event. 49.6 on beam, that's like unheard of.
People aren't going to remember the mistakes that we made in the beginning. What they're going to remember is that beam rotation. I mean, we absolutely shattered the school record, I'm pretty sure.
Beam concluded Metcalf's historic night as she leaves with the 3rd place all-around title, giving her the bid to nationals for the first time ever.
I'm so proud of her. She deserves that. She's worked really hard to own that position as a leader on our team.
I would definitely have never made it to nationals without my team. I mean, they are the reason that I'm going. They set me up for that score. I just went out there and did my job, and you know what, it advanced me, and I couldn't be more honored to have been their teammates.
It was just a 1/10 of a point that prevented the University of Iowa's gymnastics team from advancing to St. Louis, but we'll still be able to see senior Angel Metcalf and freshman Claire Kaji take on nationals. Reporting for Iowa Gymnastics, this has been Olivia Corbett with Daily Iowan TV Sports.
It was a very emotional end to the Hawkeye season, but Claire Kaji and Angel Metcalf will continue to represent the Gymhawks at nationals on April 14th in St. Louis. The men's tennis team has had a busy weekend, starting with a doubleheader versus DePaul and number 2 Ohio State on Friday, and finishing up with Penn State Sunday.
Rough weekend here in Iowa City for the Iowa men's tennis team, losing to number 2 Ohio State and Penn State, and a win versus DePaul. As the Hawkeyes hosted 3 matches this weekend, they opened up Friday, winning all singles and double sets, beating DePaul 7-0. Following their morning match, the Hawkeyes matched up against the number 2 ranked Ohio State Buckeyes, resulting in a losing effort 0-7.
That's tough to swallow when we compete pretty well down there at the bottom and we're not able to, be really competitive at those spots. So hopefully, this week in practice we can pick it up and get ready for 2 tough matches next weekend against Illinois Northwestern.
Kareem Alov has been playing as the team's number 1 player. This past weekend, he won 2 singles matches along with a loss to Ohio State. He talked about being the number 1 guy.
I played number 1 in the country from Ohio State. The guy is 18-0. I came out just a little scared, a little nervous, and I played really close. Was up 5-3 in the second set, and it just gave me a lot of confidence to see where I was with the number 1 player in the country.
Hawkeyes traveled to Northwestern and the University of Illinois this weekend. Reporting from Iowa Tennis and Recreation Center, Patrick Lynch, Daily Iowa TV Sport.
The Hawks look to have some success with the neighboring state schools this weekend when they will take on Illinois and Northwestern, whom the women's tennis team did not have much luck with over the weekend, losing to both. As for the rowing team, the number 14 Hawks defeated Michigan State 63-54 and Louisville 65-50 on Saturday. And the men's golf team finished up 7th in the Mason Rudolph Championship on Sunday. Now make sure to tune in tomorrow for more on how the women's tennis team did over the weekend and to start the NFL draft interviews with hopeful former Hawkeyes. Nikki, back to you.
That's the news this Monday morning. Tune in tomorrow and all week to get the latest news. And don't forget to pick up a copy of the Daily Iowan. This is Nikki Crossway, and from all of us here at Daily Iowan TV, have a good day, Iowa City.